There's a common phrase we've all heard: some people are just born with it. But here's the truth. Talent may open the first door, but hard work builds the entire house. Talent gives you a head start, but consistency keeps you in the race. The most successful people in the world aren't always the most gifted, they are the most relentless. They show up when no one's watching, when it's not easy, when the excitement fades. That's where greatness is built: in silence, in repetition, in discipline. The problem is, we often romanticize talent. We see the highlight reels, not the hours of struggle behind them. We forget that even the most gifted must train, fail, and start again. Because raw talent without discipline is like a car without fuel. It looks powerful, but it goes nowhere. Hard work transforms potential into performance. It's not glamorous. It's not always rewarding in the moment. But every drop of sweat, every late night, every failure teaches you something that talent alone can't. Resilience. And resilience, not talent, is what carries you across the finish line. So if you ever doubt yourself because you think you're not talented enough, remember this: effort compounds. The person who keeps showing up, who keeps learning, who refuses to quit will always surpass the one who relies only on talent. Talent starts the race, but hard work finishes it. In the beginning, talent feels like a gift, a natural spark that makes things easier. It can help you learn faster, move quicker, and stand out early. But as time passes, talent alone begins to fade if it's not fueled by effort. Because what truly determines success is not how naturally gifted you are. It's how long you're willing to keep going when things get tough. The world is filled with talented people who never reached their potential simply because they stopped when it got hard. And it's equally filled with ordinary people who achieved extraordinary things because they refused to give up. When you rely only on talent, you start believing that things should come easily. The first time you face difficulty, you question yourself. But when you rely on hard work, you expect the struggle. You know that progress is supposed to be uncomfortable. That mindset makes you stronger. It's not about being naturally perfect. It's about improving a little every single day. Talent may help you win one race, but hard work trains you to keep winning, even when the track gets rough and the crowd goes home. Hard work brings consistency, and consistency builds mastery. A talented person who practices occasionally will never outperform the one who practices daily. The person who keeps showing up, even on the days they don't feel like it, builds habits that talent alone can't create. Over time, that consistency becomes invisible strength. People might call it luck, but it's really just years of unseen effort. Every repetition, every late night, every small improvement adds up. That's the hidden advantage of hard work. It compounds quietly until one day it becomes unstoppable momentum. Another thing talent can't teach you is resilience. Hard work forces you to face failure, to get up again, to keep going after every setback. That experience shapes your character when life challenges you, and it always will. Resilient people don't crumble, they adapt, they grow stronger. Talent might give you confidence, but hard work gives you courage. And courage is what you need when things don't go your way, when plans fall apart, and when success feels far away. In the long run, talent is just potential. It's what you could do. Hard work is proof it's what you actually do. The ones who endure, who keep learning and refining, become the best not because they started with more, but because they stayed in the race long after others stopped running. They understand that greatness isn't given. It's earned through hours of invisible effort that no one applauds. So while talent might light the path, it's hard work that carries you across the finish line time and time again. Consistency builds mastery. It's one of the simplest truths about success, yet one of the hardest to live by. Most people believe greatness comes from a single breakthrough moment, but real mastery is born in the quiet repetition of small efforts done every single day. It's not about doing something huge once. It's about doing something small over and over until it becomes a part of you. Every great musician, athlete, leader, or creator became exceptional not because they worked hard once, but because they worked hard consistently, even when no one was watching. Consistency is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. You can have the best plan, the most powerful dream, or the strongest desire, but without consistency, none of it matters. When you commit to showing up every day, you begin to build momentum, and momentum is a powerful thing. It transforms ordinary actions into habits, and those habits become the foundation of mastery. Each day's effort may feel small, even invisible, but it adds up. Like drops of water wearing down a stone, your small, steady actions slowly shape your skill, your mindset, and your results. The challenge with consistency is that it demands patience. In a world that glorifies instant success, it's easy to lose motivation when progress seems slow. But mastery has never been about speed, it's about endurance. You may not notice improvement from one day to the next, but over time, the growth becomes undeniable. Those who stay consistent understand that results don't show up immediately. They arrive after days, weeks, and years of persistent effort. They trust the process, even when the outcome isn't visible yet. Consistency also builds discipline, and discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. There will always be days when you don't feel inspired, when you're tired, when you question whether it's worth it. That's when consistency becomes your greatest ally. You don't rely on feelings, you rely on your commitment. You keep going not because it's easy, but because you've made a promise to yourself. Over time, this discipline strengthens your mind and gives you control over your emotions, teaching you that mastery is not about perfection, but persistence. When you look at anyone who has achieved greatness, you'll find the same pattern. Small actions repeated over years until they became second nature. A writer who writes a single page a day will have a book by the end of the year. A musician who practices for an hour daily will master their craft. A person who learns a little each day will eventually know more than those who tried to learn everything at once. Consistency compounds quietly but powerfully. It turns effort into excellence and routine into results. The truth is, you don't need to be the best every day, you just need to keep showing up. Because mastery isn't built in a moment of brilliance, it's built in the repetition of simple actions done with unwavering commitment. Discipline outlasts motivation. Motivation is a great spark. It excites you, energizes you, and gets you started. But it's not designed to last. It comes and goes like the weather, changing with your mood, your circumstances, and your results. You can't depend on motivation to carry you through life, because there will be days when you don't feel like doing anything at all. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the steady force that keeps you moving forward when motivation disappears. It's the commitment to act even when you don't feel like it, and that commitment, repeated day after day, creates unstoppable momentum. When people rely only on motivation, they often start strong but fade quickly. They get inspired by a video, a quote, or a dream, and for a moment, everything feels possible. But as soon as challenges appear, the spark fades. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't rely on how you feel. It's a decision. A promise to yourself that you'll keep showing up no matter what. Discipline means doing the work when it's boring, when it's difficult, when no one's watching. It's built on consistency, not emotion. And that's why it's so powerful. Discipline transforms chaos into progress. It creates structure, focus, and direction. It's the quiet voice that says, do it anyway. When you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel, you gain control over your life. You stop being a victim of temporary emotions and start becoming the author of your own results. Discipline doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for persistence. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build strength. You train your mind to prioritize purpose over pleasure, and slowly, that discipline becomes a part of who you are. What makes discipline truly special is that it compounds over time. Each disciplined action adds to your momentum, and momentum is the secret to greatness. Once you build it, it carries you forward even on the hardest days. You start to realize that success isn't about being motivated all the time. It's about building habits that don't depend on motivation at all. The more disciplined you become, the less you need to force yourself to act. What was once difficult becomes automatic. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove that you can be trusted. You start believing in your ability to follow through. That belief changes everything. It shapes your identity, your habits, and your destiny. People who master discipline don't wait for the right moment. they create it. They understand that feelings are temporary, but commitment is lasting. In the end, motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. It's not loud or dramatic, but it's consistent. It shows up every single day and quietly builds the foundation of success. When motivation fades, and it always will, discipline remains, and that's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Failure fuels growth. It's one of the most powerful truths in life, yet one of the hardest to accept. Most people fear failure because they see it as the opposite of success, but in reality, failure is the path to success. Every mistake carries a lesson, every setback carries wisdom, and every fall builds strength. Working people understand this deeply. They know that failure isn't a dead end, it's a signal, a teacher, a mirror showing what needs to change. They don't let failure define them, they let it refine them. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" That shift in perspective changes everything. The truth is, no one succeeds without failing. Every successful person you admire has a trail of failures behind them. The difference is, they didn't stop there. They used failure as feedback. When something didn't work, they adjusted, improved, and tried again. Each failure became a stepping stone, a small correction guiding them closer to their goals. They learned that progress is rarely a straight line. It's full of detours, breakdowns, and lessons disguised as setbacks. Failure teaches you what no book or mentor ever can. It gives you experience, resilience, and humility. Failure also strips away arrogance. It reminds you that talent and intelligence aren't enough. You need perseverance and patience too. When you fail, you're forced to confront your weaknesses, and that confrontation is where real growth begins. You learn to adapt, to find new solutions, and to develop emotional strength. Failure humbles you, but it also strengthens you. It teaches you empathy for others, courage to keep trying, and the awareness that you are capable of more than you thought. The people who fear failure the most are often the ones who never reach their potential. They play it safe, avoiding risks, and in doing so, avoid growth. But those who embrace failure understand that every mistake brings them one step closer to mastery. They know that success isn't about avoiding pain, it's about learning from it. Every time they fall, they rise a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little more prepared for what's next. Failure is feedback in its purest form. It tells you what doesn't work, which means you're one step closer to finding what does. It teaches persistence, and persistence is the foundation of success. You can't build greatness without breaking a few times along the way. The key is to never see failure as final. It's only final if you quit. When you keep going, when you turn your setbacks into lessons, failure becomes your greatest ally. It fuels your growth, strengthens your character, and shapes you into someone unstoppable. Because in the end, it's not the fear of failure that defines you. It's how you respond to it. Resilience is the true superpower. It's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Talent, intelligence, and opportunity can all give someone an advantage, but resilience is what determines who lasts, who rises, and who ultimately wins. Life will never move in a straight line. It will test you, break your plans, and challenge your strength in ways you never expected. In those moments, it's not your skills or gifts that keep you going. It's your ability to stand up after being knocked down. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or difficulty. It's about facing it, learning from it, and continuing forward with a stronger heart. The people who achieve greatness are not those who never fall. They are the ones who never stay down. They see every setback as a lesson, not a limitation. When things don't go as planned, they adapt instead of giving up. They understand that failure and frustration are not signs to stop. They are signs to grow. Resilience turns obstacles into teachers. It transforms adversity into strength. It's the mindset that whispers, "Try again," when everything else inside you says, "Give up." That quiet persistence builds character, and character is what sustains success long after talent fades. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. It grows through hardship, disappointment, and perseverance. Each time you overcome something you thought you couldn't, your mind and spirit become stronger. You start to realize that struggle is not the enemy, it's the training ground for greatness. Resilient people are not fearless. They feel pain, doubt, and exhaustion like everyone else. The difference is, they move forward anyway. They have learned to turn pain into purpose. Every setback they survive becomes proof that they are capable of more. What makes resilience so powerful is that it's self-sustaining. Once you've been through tough times and learned to rise again, you stop being afraid of failure, you stop being paralyzed by uncertainty, you develop faith in your own ability to recover, no matter what happens. That confidence gives you freedom, to take risks, to dream bigger, to live without fear of losing everything. Because even if you fall, you know you can rebuild. That's a power no one can take from you. Resilience defines true greatness because it's what remains when everything else fades. Looks, luck, and opportunity may come and go, but resilience endures. It carries you through dark days and uncertain seasons. It reminds you that every ending can be a new beginning if you refuse to stop trying. The world may knock you down 100 times, but if you rise 101, you become unstoppable. That is the essence of resilience. The strength to keep moving forward when quitting seems easier, the courage to believe in light even when surrounded by darkness. It's not just a skill or a mindset, it's the quiet power that turns ordinary people into legends. Effort always outweighs entitlement. In a world where many expect success to come easily, it's the ones who work relentlessly who truly rise. Entitlement whispers that you deserve something just because you want it, or because you were once good at it. Effort, on the other hand, demands action. It asks for persistence, patience, and humility. The person who continues to work, learn, and adapt will always surpass the one who believes talent or status is enough. Because, while entitlement waits for opportunities, effort creates them. Success doesn't reward those who sit back, and expect it rewards those who move forward and earn. There's a dangerous comfort in entitlement. It convinces you that what you've already done is enough, that you don't need to keep pushing. But growth never happens in comfort. The moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. Effort keeps you hungry. It keeps you curious. It reminds you that no matter how skilled or experienced you are, there's always room to improve. The most successful people are not the ones who think they've made it. They're the ones who believe they're just getting started. Effort is the great equalizer. You can't control how talented you are compared to someone else, but you can control how hard you work. You can control how much you study, how much you practice, and how well you adapt to change. The one who gives more effort may not see results immediately, but over time they always surpass the one who relies only on natural ability, because talent without effort becomes arrogance, and arrogance eventually leads to decline. Hard work, however, builds momentum, and momentum turns into mastery. Every day you choose effort, you're shaping your character. You're teaching yourself resilience, discipline, and humility. Effort reminds you that nothing worthwhile is ever handed over. You must earn it. It's through consistent effort that you discover your true strength. It teaches you patience when progress is slow, courage when obstacles appear, and determination when others quit. Those lessons cannot be learned through entitlement. They come only through experience and struggle. The world constantly evolves, and those who depend on talent alone often get left behind. But those who keep learning, keep adapting, and keep striving never stop growing. Effort ensures you stay relevant, sharp, and ready for whatever comes next. It keeps you humble enough to learn from failure and strong enough to turn that learning into progress. In the end, effort is what builds legacies. It's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. Entitlement fades the moment reality challenges it, but effort thrives under pressure. The one who works harder, learns faster, and adapts better will always win, not because they were handed success, but because they earned every part of it. Effort is the foundation of greatness, and those who embrace it will always rise above those who simply wait to be recognized. So, when you look at the world around you, at those who have achieved greatness, those who have built something from nothing, those who have kept climbing despite every fall, you'll notice one truth. None of them waited to be chosen. They chose themselves. They didn't rely on luck, talent, or entitlement. They relied on effort. They showed up every day, even when it was hard, even when no one believed in them, even when success felt far away. Because effort is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't care where you start, only that you keep going. It's the one thing completely within your control. And when you choose effort over excuses, growth over comfort, and progress over pride, you become unstoppable. So don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for someone to hand you a chance. Start where you are with what you have and give it everything you've got. Because in the end, it's not talent, luck, or privilege that shapes your destiny, it's effort. And the person who refuses to quit will always finish ahead of the one who never began.